Greetings, this is the man who pretends to be Charles Darwin, and once again I'm speaking to you from outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and this is a blackjack oak leaf. And this leaf is actually a big manufacturing center. It makes all of the food in the world, not this leaf of course, but leaves in general, make all of the food in the world for the entire food chain. And they do this by spreading their chlorophyll out and by letting carbon dioxide in, and then from that they make sugar, from which is based all of the other compounds in the food chain. Now, leaves protect themselves from drying out and also from insects because they have upper and lower epidermises that are reinforced so that an insect would have a difficult time eating it. And also the leaf veins are reinforced. But if an insect is able to get inside the leaf, get past one of the barriers on the outside and avoid the leaf veins, you can see that they would have nice, juicy mesophyll cells to eat. And that's just one of the many things that plants do for the world. They produce all the food for the food chain. Not only that, but they are producing oxygen as well. And we're able to breathe it. Isn't that nice of them? Isn't that wonderful of those plants to produce oxygen for us to breathe? Well, as you can probably tell, I'm setting you up for something because plants don't do anything just to be nice to us. Everything they do is in the interest of their own survival. For instance, when they produce acorns, right here, the oak trees are not producing them for squirrels, but they're producing them for their own reproduction. So why would the trees produce oxygen, which is to them a waste product, if they're not doing it for us? Well, it turns out to actually have a rather simple answer, that water molecules are a convenient source of electrons for photosynthesis, and the leftover product of removing electrons from water is oxygen. And so the oxygen goes into the air. To them, it's a waste product. They don't care. The fact that we breathe it, that is irrelevant to them for the most part. Now, there's another thing that will demonstrate that plants are acting in their own interest rather than in your interest, and that is that these trees don't just produce oxygen, they are also producing volatile organic compounds. These are organic compounds that actually can be interpreted as a form of air pollution. They cause organic haze. And so that is a form of pollution. Ronald Reagan in 1981 said that trees produce air pollution. People thought that that was rather strange, but he was right. Trees do produce air pollution. Now they produce more oxygen, so it's much better to have them than to not have them. But once in a while, the trees will produce air pollution. And the reason that they produce these organic compounds is because it stabilizes their photosynthesis under hot conditions, hot, dry conditions. And you can tell that that is what's going on right here. Look at these plants right here. They're all wilted. And so you know it's hot and dry right now outside of Tulsa. And so under these conditions, the plants need to watch out for their own photosynthesis and to take care of themselves. And so the point that I'm trying to make is that plants do not care about what they do to you. Their leaves might be nutritious, their leaves might be poisonous. They produce oxygen, they also produce volatile organic compounds. And so that's just the way it's going to be. And people like me just have to get used to the fact that plants act in their own interests, and they're not doing it for me, they're not doing it for you. This is the man who pretends to be Charles Darwin. Tally ho. And amen.